Morning. My name is Julia McGeorge. I am a member of the senior youth group here at South Church. Welcome, everyone. If you are new to this community here in person, we are so glad you are here. We have a social hour downstairs after today's service. Please come join us for coffee and yummy snacks. There's also a QR code in the order of service if any newcomers would like to join our mailing list or connect with one of our ministers or a member of the staff team. For those of you joining us online, thank you for being here. There's a live chat feature, and we'd love it if you said hello in that space. If online folks would like to be added to our church mailing list, there's a sign-up link on the website, southchurchuu.org. We acknowledge that our sanctuary is situated on the ancestral land of the Abenaki and Pennacook people who have lived in this place, now called New Hampshire, for more than 12,000 years and have ongoing connections to this area. We recognize the history of this land at the start of our worship services each week, with hopes that it helps us unlearn false narratives and deepens our understanding of injustices committed by our nation. It is a step towards reconciliation and rebuilding relationships with Indigenous people everywhere. The theme for the month of February is justice and equity. Today's service is offered by the high school youth group. We've been working hard the past few weeks to prepare this service. That being said, the magical music you will hear and hopefully sing along to would not be possible without the hard work of Johnny Piper. Thank you, Johnny. After the story for all ages, children in grades 7 and younger are invited to go downstairs for religious education classes. Also, there are craft materials at the back of the sanctuary for anyone who would like to color or add fidgets to keep their hands busy. Assisted listening devices and large print hymnals are also available in the back of the room. Please ask an usher if you need assistance. Lastly, please silence your cell phones so we can be together without distractions.
Hello, is this on? I have a few announcements for you all today. Say who I am first. I'm Les with the senior youth group here at South Church, and I highly recommend reading through your whole order of service. I will be reading out a few announcements from the order of service. Firstly, I'd like to mention that the Covenant group is holding mid-year enrollment. Mid-year enrollment is open. If you are curious or wanting to join a Covenant group, there are a few groups waiting to welcome you from February through May, as well as the option for a new group on Sunday mornings at 8:30 a.m. If you are curious about what a Covenant group is, what a Covenant group is all about. There is a drop-in small group today at 11:30, so you can join Kirsten Hunter after worship in the Emerson room for a drop-in small group. And lastly, last announcement I will be reading from the order of service today. If you are thinking of becoming a member of South Church, Journey to Membership is on March 10th, 17th, and 24th. The Fellowship Associates will be hosting the Winter-Spring Journey to Membership on 3 consecutive Sundays. And that is all the announcements except one. We have today a special announcement from Kirsten Hunter.
Yeah, so we have a special announcement because I would like to invite us to celebrate someone today who doesn't know we're doing this. But just to give you a little backstory, I have been working in this congregation since 2012, and in the time that I worked here, I went through a credentialing program to learn how to be a religious educator, because it isn't something that there is a formal sort of pre-training for. You kind of train on the ground when you're doing this job, and believe it or not, it's pretty complex. And I went through that program, and so I know firsthand the level of work, reading, preparation, a participation that's required to do that credentialing program. I also am delighted that Jen Del Deo, who has joined our staff team, came on with an interest in also continuing to pursue professional development and learn how to do her job better, which is hard to imagine because she's already so good at it. But we got a letter in the office this week from the UUA celebrating the fact that Jen has completed 75 hours of professional development. And I would just love to invite the congregation to celebrate her with me for a moment.
morning. I remember a few years ago, at the beginning of every service, we would stand up and we would greet each other and we would say hello. And I love doing that, and I want to do that again. So this morning, I invite you all to stand up as you are able and as you are comfortable and say hello to your neighbors. Our chalice lighting words this morning are Building the Justice We Long For by Reverend Scott Taylor, inspired by John Shar. May this flame cast its light toward better days, reminding us that the future is not simply a place we are going, but a place we are creating. The path of new possibilities will not be found, but made. The justice we long for does not sit at end of that inevitable arc. It lies in the bending that is ours to do. A new world is waiting to be built, friends. May our time together light the way.
Please now rise, embody your spirit, and join me in reciting our mission statement, which you can find in your order of service. At South Church, we nurture spiritual growth through worship, learning, and community. We celebrate the worth and dignity of all people, and we inspire one another to act on our faith in the larger community.
When I think of equity, strangely enough, all I can think of are places that I don't see a lot of equity. My school in particular is a place that doesn't have a whole lot of equity woven into it. The way I see it, equality is giving everyone the same thing, and equity is giving everyone what they need to thrive in the same way. School is designed in one way that really doesn't work for most. If you don't naturally have the ability to wake up in the morning and go to a building and sit down and soak in information for 6 hours with not much else going on, then you're basically out of luck. The thing is, I don't blame my school for this. I know that people who work in education know how hard it is for different kids to do different things. I know that in the past couple of decades, we have started understanding just how many ways humans can work and exist, and just how okay that is. I know that this realization is the first step towards equity in systems like school. The second step, that will no doubt take more time still, is actual change. It is unfortunate, but the kind of change that we need takes money and a lot of people with a vision and an understanding of the problem. My generation has its faults, but one of the things I love about it is how normalized the concept of difference is. Especially in groups like this, everyone is accepted no matter their struggles and celebrated for their strengths. We as people can see that there are different ways of being with different needs, and the system around us, like my school, are yet to change fully for the better. Someday soon, though, I think we will see a lot of movement towards justice and equity for all. And now, please rise in body or spirit and join us in hymn number 188, located in the gray hymnal.
All right, I would like to invite all kids or anyone else who wants to come sit closer up on the floor for a story. Our characters are getting ready. Once upon a farm, there was a lettuce named Justin and a chili pepper plant named Eqlaire with a Q. Justin and Eqlaire were planted next to each other in a bed of soil, and they were great friends. Life was good on the farm. Well, life was good for Justin the lettuce. For Eqlaire the chili pepper, not so much. Justin was living his best life. He drank up the refreshing sprinkler water The spring sun was warm but not too hot, and he was growing more and more every day. Eqlaire, however, was always uncomfortable. Eqlaire could not do jumping jacks or wear socks because she unfortunately was a pepper plant and did not have feet.
It's raining again. It just rained yesterday and the day before that. I feel so sad when it's raining. I wish it was sunny.
Oh, I love the rain. I feel so hydrated. Eqlaire, just one umbrella or something.
Eqlaire could not hold an umbrella, unfortunately, because she did not have hands. So the rain continued to fall, the spring sun continued to shine, and days on the farm continued to pass by. One day, the farmer came to check on the lettuce and chili pepper crops.
Oh my God, Justin, your skin, it's glowing. You are so tall. You are totally slaying this growing season. Somebody call Veggie Vogue.
Then, the farmer turned to Eqlaire and almost had a heart attack.
Oh, wow, Eqlaire. Are you feeling sick? You're looking a little short today. Sorry, do you usually wear heels? You're wilting. Just look at Justin. He's doing so amazing. Why can't you be like that?
The farmer's words made Eqlaire feel sad because she was trying her best to grow and thrive like Justin, but for some reason, it was just too difficult. Over the next few days, the farmer would come back to check on Justin and Eqlaire, and the situation was pretty much the same.
Eqlaire, you need to try a little harder.
I am trying. I'm trying my best, but I can't grow. There isn't enough sun and there's too much rain.
Look at Justin. He's doing wonderfully. He's getting just enough water, just enough sun. You're planted literally right next to him. It's equal.
Eqlaire tried and tried to grow, but she was drowning in the rainwater and shivering her buns off in the spring air. When the farmer returned after a week, Eqlaire was at an all-time low.
Wow, yikers, Eqlaire. You look terrible. Have you just completely given up? You're the worst vegetable I've ever seen.
Eqlaire was so wilted that all she could do was cry. Then Justin thought back to all the times Eqlaire had tried to tell them that something was wrong, and they realized they hadn't been listening to her.
Hey, farmer. I think I remember Eqlaire saying that she was too cold and that she hated all the rainwater. She's a different plant than I am. Maybe she just has different needs than I do.
You might be right, Justin. I guess I wasn't being a good farmer. Maybe pepper plants need a warmer, drier climate. I'll move them to the greenhouse.
With that, the farmer dug up Eqlaire and carefully replanted her in the greenhouse where the climate was perfectly hot and not too wet. After a few days, Eqlaire began to come back to life. She stood up straighter, her leaves got brighter, and her peppers got redder. When the farmer came back to check on her, she was stronger, taller, and healthier than she had ever been before.
Wow, Eqlaire, I guess you're not just bad at growing. You just had different needs than Justin here.
Thank you for saying that, farmer. This greenhouse is perfect for me.
And so, Justin went on growing in his soil, and Eqlaire went on growing in her greenhouse. They were still best friends, and they saw each other every Sunday at the farmer's market.
Eqlaire, you look great, queen.
Thanks, Justin. You too. What fertilizer do you use?
Sometimes having equal things isn't enough. Sometimes different people need different things in order to thrive. That's what equity is. Justin and Eqlaire lived happily ever after. The end.
Go now in peace.
During the month of February, our collection will be shared with Foodprints Food Pantry. Footprints exists to reduce the impact of hunger in this region, to share resources and support the lives of those who have joined Footprints community. They always have fresh produce, non-perishables, meats, dairies, and household products. You may make an offertory donations in the baskets as they come around, or you can make donations online using the QR code in your order of service. Your gifts will now be gratefully received.
Hello? Oh. Hello and welcome, my friends. I have a question for you this morning. How are you doing? Like, honestly, how are you doing? Have things been going well for you? Or are you maybe struggling a bit right now? Or are you just okay? One thing I can say is everything will be okay. I promise. Life is such a complex but beautiful adventure. Sometimes we lose our way, and we ask ourselves, what do we do now? There is no right way, but there are a few things we can keep in mind as we try to build a more just and equitable world. When we see that our actions have led to negative consequences, may we rise and take responsibility for our choices. It's okay to make mistakes. It may feel like everything's hopeless, but just take it one day at a time. Forgive yourself and learn from your mistakes. When something's not right, may we have the courage to change something. We have control over our destinies. Be the best person you can be. Love yourself. You're an amazing person. You've gone through tough times, but you're still here, standing strong. You've accomplished great things, big or small, and you're loved more than you know. Don't ever doubt yourself. I repeat, you are an amazing person. I love and I'm proud of every single person in this room. You've come such a long way, and you all have a great future ahead. Now go continue living that great story of yours. We invite you to take a moment now to reflect on a joy or concern in your own life. If you would like to come forward and light a prayer candle, you are invited to do so now.
There we go. My name is Ivy. In addition to being part of the youth group, I also teach RE downstairs a lot, so I'm kind of around every couple weeks. Now, if any of you know me or know anything about me or my family, you'd know that if there's one word that could describe us as a group, it is queer. My twin Maggie now leads the GSA at our high school, where she acts as a mentor for other queer students, particularly those who need a safe space to discuss their identity. My aunt, or other mother, Willow, who many of you probably know, transitioned 5 years ago. I myself identify as part of the LGBTQ community. These family dynamics are absolutely nothing but ordinary to me. I've always tried to be an advocate for justice, and I credit a lot of that to my family and my upbringing. Frankly, it's hard not to care when the rights of those you love are being threatened. My twin, in particular, strove for our entire childhood to be unashamedly herself. Beyond her exuberant personality and talkative behavior, Maggie identified strongly as queer. Before our mother came out as transgender and our sibling changed their name in high school, Maggie was gay. It is as much a part of their identity as one's height or eye color, an inconsequential but entirely immutable fact. As a result, Maggie was often the odd one out and faced a lot of bullying. Watching this person I cared for so much and looked up to suffering had an impact on me as a kid, whether I realized it or not. So when my 6th grade English teacher assigned a project where I would write my own picture book, I knew what it would be about. I was going to write about Maggie. I spun the tale of a young girl, about 5th grade probably. Other kids relentlessly bullied her for years because she was noticeably different from them. In my story, the main character had wings. For the purpose of the plot, her difference was actually pretty irrelevant. It was meant to mimic my sister in a way, but would ideally appeal to any kid who felt othered. After starting at a new school, like we did when entering middle school, this girl made a new friend who stood up for her in front of the bullies. This friend covered her hair, but later revealed that the reason why. She had fox ears, a similar animal-like mutation that set her apart from the crowd. The main character's new friend taught our protagonist to appreciate her wings and non-human appearance. Eventually, the two girls confronted the bullies together. They pointed out the benefits of their differences, that one could fly and the other had superhuman hearing, even if they appeared weird to others. And amazingly, through the power of convenient storytelling, the other children agreed. They saw through their preconceived notions of what was correct to accept and love those who were different. From that day on, the students at the school developed and cultivated a community that hinged on and highlighted their individual identities. Of course, real-world situations of injustice rarely have such convenient resolutions. A 30-page picture book written by a 6th grader in a week cannot completely capture the complexities of confronting injustice. In real life, standing up to the bullies and having a conversation is not a direct path to making everything better. That usually requires a little more tact and a lot more hard work. But recognizing the problems in front of you and standing up to put your voice out there, that's a start. Advocacy in any form is a start. I don't know if anyone other than my teacher and my family remembers that book I wrote. I even forgot about it for years until my aunt, Willow, told me about it last month when I was working on writing some supplemental essays for college. But that book was one of the springing points for me as an advocate today. That was the moment when I looked at the world around me, saw a problem, and decided to use my voice to speak for it the only way I knew how, by writing. But that simple action set me on a path to become more comfortable speaking out about the wrongdoings I see in the world around me. I encourage all of you to find the spark of your advocacy, nurture it, take care of it, then use it. Channel your voice to speak up in whatever way you know how, and work to make the world a better place.
Bryant, the said twin from before. It's a very sweet piece. Can you hear me all properly? 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope. Okay. Just a sec. Voice mic. 1, 2. All right. So this song I wrote for the service, I was given the very basic prompts of justice, equity, something personal, so spun it together like I normally do, but it's also just a fun little piece. I hope you'll enjoy. It's titled Not Alone.
People together, we can change the world if we want. Oh, people together, we can change the world if we want. Thank you.
Hi. Okay. Hi. This past week, 2 years ago, marked my first direct encounter with sexism. Before that, I absorbed my awareness of this inequality through watching and listening, hearing the stories and marching to their beat. 2 years ago, administration sent a girl home from our little coastal high school for the absence of her bra. Her young body was deemed too objectifiable for the adolescent community.
Apparently, her presence was derailing her peers' focus, so they removed the distraction instead of the immaturity of the kids around her. The next day, a wave of girls walked through the doors without bras. In response, administration stood at exits, taking notes of who was sporting the dress code and who was not. They were given the authority to scan these young women due to their distractive qualities, their threatening existences. Weeks later, cases of sexual harassment arose around the school. Girls began to congregate over their shared anger and unease over administration's apathy towards their fear. Girls were being targeted on their sports teams, their bodies discussed loudly in the halls, and there were no teachers at exits, no scanning of the boys' behavior. At the activities fair a week later, girls sat with a clipboard and a sign reading Young Women's Leadership. In a matter of minutes, names filled the pages. There was a drastic need for a community with an environment of safety and standards held of equity, where girls could rant about what they put up with just to learn each day, and not be labeled emotional, but be met with validation. Sexual harassment cases kept popping up, the perpetrators living without punishment, while the girls sent home for a dress code violation would live with that on our transcript. This past week, 2 years ago, Young Women's Leadership scheduled a meeting with the principal, where we could all sit down and voice the inequalities being faced in our educational environment. 50 girls showed up to the library. The principal was 20 minutes late. He walked in, all disgruntled, to the professional presentation a few of the senior girls had planned. They voiced their points articulately. He didn't make eye contact. When they opened it up for questions, my first direct encounter with sexism began. He lectured us on our dramatics. The school has a zero-tolerance policy on bullying, so obviously nothing's happening here. And if a perpetrator has a perfect GPA, they don't need punishment. My friend sighed, to which he responded, "Are you okay? Looking a little emotional over there." And the bell rang. I raged. I left the library shaking with lists of statements I wanted to scream in his ears, but I was drowning in the fact that I knew my voice would never be picked up on his wavelength. I didn't go to class. Instead, I hid in my teacher's room, who let me sit on the floor and talk until my brain ran dry. She understood it. She'd been facing it her entire life, too. This was a crucial moment, the one where I felt the weight of the power dynamics in my world shift, just like every woman has before. The club kept meeting. We learned how to go around the principal's antics, how to defer to the woman in charge, because there always is one. We organized rallies, hung posters, changed the dress code. The principal resigned the next year. As Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie are snubbed for Oscars, and Roe v. Wade is overturned, and women in Iran are brutally targeted for seeking education, it can feel as if those vital voices aren't reaching their wavelengths. Like women's emotions will always be seen before their power. But that power is strong, and that power is hopeful, because it's stronger than any man's ability to lecture and criticize. There are now over 100 students participating in Young Women's Leadership. We keep fighting, marching, and raising our voices until that hope transforms from a reminder to a reflection. Thank you.
Our next hymn, number 348, Guide My Feet, is an African-American spiritual hymn that was made popular in the Reconstruction era and Civil Rights movement. The hymn illustrates how the same level of dedication and effort of running a race was needed every day by Black Americans during this period in their fight for justice and equity. Although the hymn describes the fight for justice as a foot race, there have been and will be many people who fight for their rights without the ability to run. Now please rise in body or spirit for hymn number 348 in the gray hymnal.
Guide my We extinguish his flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
We close today with words by Odette Fulbright Fulson, titled We Are Not Done.
Do not think we are finished. Oh no, we will never be finished. Never just done, until the light of justice shines behind every eye.
Do not think we will be silent. No, there will not be silence until the world has sung the names of the dead with full throats, and still we sing on.
Do not think fear is the end of us. Oh, you are broken in the mind and heart if you even imagine that our fear for our lives is the end of this story.
We are braver than you have ever conceived, and you will not be the end of us.
We have come back to take the world that is the inheritance of better children, better lovers, better days.
There will be love again, but justice is our demand now. You will not take us down. We are endless, firelit, determined.
And we are coming for you.
Where's the green mic?
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No well below us, above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. Together hand in hand. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us. And though